and that is the Green Bay Packers. And let's get into their 7-round mock draft. But before we get into that, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to get notified when Ryan and I create new content. We are currently sitting at 684 subscribers, and we have a goal of getting to 1,000 by April 27th, which is NFL draft night. We've gotten over 100 subscribers within the past week, and we're growing our community. So smash that like button and hit that subscribe button so you can join our community and see when we create new content. And Ryan, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So this Packers one is very interesting because if you have not been living under a rock, you know exactly what is going on in the organization in the football world today. So these picks are very subject to change. We did this mock draft Sunday, March 12th, and we are recording this now Sunday, March 19th, because this is when we got to the Packers. So there might be picks that the Packers have gotten that we have not selected just because we didn't know that they had those picks at the time of this recording. So Ryan, at pick 15, who are the Green Bay Packers selecting?
So at pick 15, we have the Green Bay Packers selecting Michael Mayer, the tight end from Notre Dame. Just a really versatile guy. He's not elite. He's not an elite athlete, but super solid hands. He's going to stretch the field through the seam, and he's a phenomenal blocker and just a very versatile tight end. What he was able to do at Notre Dame, even despite his lack of elite athleticism, was really impressive. He runs super solid routes. He gets off the line of scrimmage really, really well, and he plays his leverages really well. And he knows that he's not the most athletic guy, and he knows how to cater to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really fun to watch him on tape because he just knows what he's doing at all times.
Yeah. So, and I think we talk a lot about having a bell cow running back, a 3-down running back. And I think we don't really talk about that too much as with the tight end positions, because especially nowadays, the modern tight end might be a little bit more slender and will line up in the slot essentially and be more of a speed, but has trouble blocking, especially when he first comes to the NFL. Michael Mayer does not have that option. He is he's kind of a 6 lineman that is also an amazing receiver. And I think with Matt LaFleur and this offense, and the way that they have this offense built now around speed on the receivers with Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs on the outside, I think he is a great opposite to that, and also is just a huge receiver as well in the red zone, and they can really scheme him open because he's just going to be a mismatch, I think, for a lot of guys. He can still line up in the slot, similar to kind of how Rob Gronkowski did, but then at the same time, if it's a goal line situation, you can line him up next to a tackle, and the defense is not really going to be able to have a read on if it's run play, if it's a pass play. So, and I really like this pick even more now with Robert Tonyan moving on to the Bears. And so this pick being a tight end, I like that a little bit more because if they want to go with a receiver, as we will address later in the draft, they can go and do that for maybe just a smaller step down than maybe what they might get in the first round. So, but getting Michael Mayer here, it's going to be a big, big drop off between him and then the tight end that they might be able to get in the 3rd or 4th round. So I like this pick. I think it's a good way to address the offensive needs all around with run blocking and then also pass making opportunities, especially with what seems like it's going to be the first starting year for their new quarterback, Jordan Love. So
I think it's a really solid pick. So going on to their 2nd round pick 46, we had them take a little bit more of a project. Who was it?
It was safety Antonio Johnson out of Texas A&M. And so one of the things that we felt that would have been a good position to go safety here is they do have a couple safeties on the free agent market. And I think just adding depth in the secondary, they addressed a lot of the defensive interior and front 7 in last year's draft. And so they're now getting into the secondary might be the best option for them to go with the 2nd round pick here. There's a lot of different ways that they could go here. And we talked about this a lot, but we felt that this was the best player available for them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like Antonio Johnson. He's much more of a box slot safety at 6'3", 200. And while he didn't have the best season at A&M, he had a really good 2021, and the physical potential is there. And I think with the right coaching and in the right scheme, he could really thrive. And the way that this Packers defense plays, they play aggressive, they play downhill. I like his closing speed and his ability in that type of scheme.
Yeah.
So next up, pick 79. We have the Packers addressing the wide receiver position with Jaden Reed, the wide receiver from Michigan State. This guy has kind of come on the scene a little bit late. He had a phenomenal Senior Bowl, tested really well at the combine, running a 4.44, and he just a really solid wide receiver. One of the things about him that's really impressive, even at 6 foot 185, he's a contested catch machine, winning almost 70% of his contested catch opportunities in college.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he would fit in really, really well because he is that speedy Z receiver, slot receiver that you can kind of plug in, and he's going to make a lot of people leave their jock strap somewhere because he's going to juke people out of their shoes, and he has a lot of after the catch potential.
Yeah. Well, and then you combine him with the young receiving core that they have now, and I feel like they're going to have a solid receiving core over the next couple of years. And then combine him with Michael Mayer, 4 good receiving options, moving forward here, and especially then with Alan Lazard moving on to the Jets, Randall Cobb. Sounds like he might be going to the Jets as well, or at least he just won't be with the Packers anymore. So definitely revitalizing this receiving core and to make them much younger and also quicker, which is just going to create more opportunities for this offense to succeed. So I like this pick. Moving on now to pick 117. They are taking Kobe Turner, defensive lineman out of Wake Forest. Big guy. We have not addressed the defensive interior just yet. And so I feel like that was going to be probably the best option for them, especially too. They have a couple guys that are on free agency that have moved away, such as Dean Lowry, interior defensive lineman. He went to the Vikings. So I think addressing defensive interior here would be a solid value pick.
No, yeah. He graded really well on a lot of PFF stats in both the running and pass game. The one for me that really sticks out, he has almost a 15% pass rushing win rate on the interior, which is really solid.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like what he brings to the table. He's a versatile defensive lineman, and I think he could potentially be a day one starter, if not a rotational piece in this defense.
Yeah.
And for getting that in the middle of the 4th round, I think that's just incredible value. So,
and another guy that also left, Jaron Reed, as well. So I think another reason why to also go defensive interior here. So next one, though, you like this pick a lot. At pick 151, getting Mekhi Blackman, cornerback out of USC, was a good pick, I think, and because this is a deep cornerback class. Even getting this guy here at 151, they haven't addressed the cornerback position yet up to this point, and I really like this guy. I think he can come in and help out the defense on day one.
No, yeah. To me, he could be 1B to who is it?
Jair Alexander.
I kept wanting to say Ja'Cory Bennett, but that's just because I'm looking at prospect names. And so I really like him. He's also kind of that 6 foot 185, kind of like Devin Witherspoon, and he plays really physical in the run game. He plays physical at the line of scrimmage, and he's pretty good at sticking with receivers. He had a good season at USC. USC's defense just wasn't that great, and so I really like him. He has good ball skills. Worst case scenario, he's a special teams contributor, and you get that here in the middle of the 5th round. So
and when you get to that point, in the middle of the 5th round, you're trying to find guys that can do exactly what you said, is like can maybe be a 1B guy if you find lightning in a bottle, but guys that can come in, fill out the roster as well, contribute on special teams and learn and develop is crucial.
And so they have a few more picks here, but they're all kind of later round picks, so we're going to kind of rapid fire through them. At pick 172, Carter Warren, the offensive tackle from Pittsburgh. He's a smaller tackle, but he's really athletic. He has the length to be a backup rotational player on an NFL team. And then they have 4 7th-round picks. So Malik Cunningham, the quarterback from Louisville, he's more of a developmental guy. And then Tavius Robinson, the edge rusher from Mississippi. Sorry, I'm reading the names off of a screen. And then Michael Jones, linebacker from Syracuse. And then cornerback Rajon Wright from Oregon State is the last one there at pick 258. I like all these picks as kind of developmental picks. The one that sticks out to me the most is Malik Cunningham, the quarterback from Louisville. To me, he's just an athletic guy with good arm strength that you can come in and develop behind Jordan Love as he learns to start. If he gets injured, you have a backup quarterback there. And yeah, I think those are solid picks that's going to round out their roster.
Yeah, well, and also too, he kind of fits the bill of that modern day quarterback
Yeah.
now. The quarterback that can run, be versatile out of the pocket, do RPOs, and if he can develop a little bit more in the passing game and get a little more accurate, I think that he could potentially be a starter in the NFL, or at minimum, just a consistent backup for teams. And so, getting him in the 7th round here, I think it's just going to be just a solid pick, especially too if Aaron Rodgers moves on. You're going to need a young backup. So,
no, yeah. But that's going to wrap up the Green Bay Packers 7-round mock draft. I think they're looking good going forward. This mock draft is definitely subject to change as they go through and get the compensation for the Aaron Rodgers trade. Definitely look at investing higher in an edge rusher, maybe investing higher in an offensive lineman. I think there's a lot of different ways that they could go, but I think it's looking good for the Green Bay Packers moving forward.